Welcome to another episode of Everybody's Got Something. I'm your host, Seth Hoffman, with our guests, Mike Whitten and Cameron Beatty. Let's get to it. Let's have some fun. Let's get enlightened. Let's just be here. My good friend Mike, welcome. Thank you for being here today. First off, how's your day? How'd it start off?
It's a great day.
What led you to this moment from morning till now?
Well, thank you for having me and asking me all these questions. All I know is it's a long, winding road to get here. And, you know, sometimes you knock 3 times on the ceiling, sometimes twice on the pipe.
That's right. And whatever floats your boat, and hopefully it stays afloat.
Right. Gently down the stream.
Exactly.
There you go.
Now, Mike, we first met, we were just discussing at the glory days of the Blue Dragon. Is that right? Yeah, the Blue Dragon. The Blue Dragon. When you hear that, and it's kind of like a chapter of time, what are some things, people, memories that come to mind of that era of our lives?
I remember everybody that came out to play or hang out and watch their friends play. Everybody was really excited to be there, and they were really happy that I was doing it, so it made me feel like a contributor.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it was only once a week, but that was, enough.
It was once a week, but it was something that I think everybody carried with them throughout the week, and even at the beginning of the week, it was something people look forward to.
Right.
I think there's a real art. I've never been an open mic host, but you're the one who I really kind of look up to as that set the standard, because you just created a vibe, a very welcoming vibe, and you facilitated a community really, which a lot of people know each other from that. What do you think makes a good open mic host? What do you think goes into creating that environment and feeling?
Maybe for me, the first time I played open mic, it was over at EJ's Coffee, corner of Yale and, what is that, behind McDonald's, what is that, Yale?
Silver, maybe?
Silver and Yale, yes.
Yeah.
And now it's Annapurna, which is a very good place.
Right.
But yeah, the stage was there.
Uh-huh.
Man, I crashed and burnt so hard.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you've been to a few open mics.
I've been to 100 of them. Yeah.
You can, I don't know, be friendly, which is what you want to do all the time anyway.
Yeah.
And supportive, because you want to be supported.
Yes, and I remember you would, not in a sort of forceful way, but you just kind of put it out there. Hey, it's kind of a cool thing to stick around and support other people too. A lot of people would, they're out in the parking lot, they come and do their song, and then they go back, and you kind of sort of, and because I didn't know, that was probably the first open mic I've ever, one of the first open mics I'd been to, and just sort of learning the etiquette of it.
Yeah, I kind of, just did it because I could do it.
Yeah.
And the other person that was doing it kind of resigned abruptly, and I talked to the guy and said, I could do that.
Well,
so
I hope
got some recordings from it.
Oh, I'd like to hear that.
Unfortunately, none of yours. I looked for, I think I got Roman Garcia, my good friend.
Okay, yeah.
And a few other people. I was looking for Ryan McGarvey because I really enjoyed watching him.
Yeah.
I think he was a sophomore. I ran into him last year.
Yeah.
Hadn't seen him since then. And he was like, oh yeah, I was in 10th grade. He's telling his girlfriend who hosts the morning show on the KRQE.
Okay.
All about the open mic. It's pretty.
I think many
cool.
people who have been there, you could ask them now, and their faces and spirits would light up. And I remember you would. I think you would commonly start off the night with a song.
I'd play.
Sometimes open mic hosts, they'll play kind of, I think, like maybe too much throughout the thing, and they make. But you were very generous. You were very much just sort of kind of getting things ready, and then you would share oftentimes original songs. And I believe you're going to play a song for us today. What is the song that you're going to be playing? Something about lemons, perhaps?
Yeah, it's kind of a. One day I'm just writing my friend an email, and I just ranted throughout the whole thing.
That turned into the song?
Well, it's like there's only so much lemonade anybody could bear to make, and I just kept going. well, whatever, email, and I tried singing the email. Like, oh, this was divinely downloaded or whatever, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, not for art, but
Sure.
but so it just kind of like I had the one line. There's only so much lemonade anybody.
All right.
Could
Let's
stand
hear it. The suspense is getting too great. Let's hear it. Are you ready for it? Let's hear it. All right. All right.
All right. This is Infinite Lemon. It's about God as a lemon. There's only so much lemonade any soul could bear to make. Twisted and squeezed, making believe it's medicine from an infinite lemon. Pressed in a vice, chilled over ice, with sugar and spice, stirred up with lies. Lies, lies. 'Cause there's only so much medicine any soul would dare to take. Dazed and confused, relentless abuse choking down the bitterness of the infinite lemon. Fools with phony crowns, sending the clowns with a spoon full of sugar to help the medicine go down. Made in the shade, sipping magic lemonade, tripping balls at the Quantum Arcade, and karma, she never goes unpaid, so she takes me in trade. There's only so much innocence any soul could ever hope to hold. Now I'm wishing you all the best, laying worries to rest, laughing in jest with the infinite lemon. Get right with now, seeing the how, being me, reflecting in everything, in everything, in everything, in everything. Hey, thank you.
Wow. So this started off as an email. That song that you just played was an email.
To my friend Barry, who used to be in the band the Twigs.
Okay.
Back in late 90s. Rana, she was running the event center at the technical college for many years.
Yes.
Anyway, he was my drummer for a while, and we hit it off. We loved the Doors.
Classic. Do you know Jim Morrison lived like...
Yeah, around Candelaria?
Yeah. I drove by his house the other day.
I drive by it all the time, and it's like, now which one is it?
Yes. I was there, and there was a lady out doing some yard work. I could tell she was like, I wonder if she figured I must be looking for Jim Morrison's house, or if she was just thinking maybe I was I don't know,
like
Peeping Tom or something.
I think Breaking Bad took a lot of pressure off the Morrison Hotel.
Yes,
there.
yes. So let me ask you that song. So the words they were inspired from this email. Musically, it's pretty complex what you were doing there. Did that come naturally? Did that just seem like that's how the song should flow? How did the melody and just all the intricate guitar things you were doing come from?
Well, as a drummer, I don't do much fancy stuff on guitar, but it's like I pretty much use every chord in that whatever key it's in or whatever. There's a B minor and a G, D, A.
But even the ways you get from chord to chord, you do some interesting bass walks.
I wish I could play like Paul Simon or somebody like that and actually make music with the chords and the vocals.
Sounded pretty darn musical to me.
Well, thanks.
So tell me, what are some other things you're working on now? I see we have. Is this your? Can you tell us what we're looking at right now?
Oh, that's my studio's not set up like that anymore. That mixing board's at Echoes now. I sold it to him. I sold that amp. This is that's my daughter's picture. So I think this is a video tour of my studio that I call Casual Sounds. So it's kind of like the open mic. It's like keep it casual to where you don't have to carry any airs or let the veneer peel away.
Yes.
Just be yourself. And, so hopefully when people work in my studio, they don't have to live up to this artificial hype that we have in our head of how things should be. So I think I was watching the second Matrix movie and he was talking about the Merovingian causality.
Okay.
Because when you see cause, I see effect. And so why are you here? We're here to see the key, get the key maker. And it's like, that is not a why. That is a what. Anyway, so he talks about, that was one of those movies, but he talks about causality.
Yes.
So I looked it up in the dictionary and stuff. And it's like,
so
I was trying to do causality sound, but anyway. So that's the dead wall. So one day I had some postcards of Elvis, Jim Morrison. And it's like I noticed my little collection was all dead people. So that's my friend Omar from my first band I recorded, Dominant Race. So anyway, so I just collect the pictures of these rock and pop culture icons and memorialize them in the studio there. Lou Reed.
Classic.
Sid Barrett and
there he is, just
keyboard
the guy we were talking about.
Old Hank. Paul Kantner, from those, and when I find two of them together like that, that's like a bonus find.
So what are you working on? Any projects that are currently underway or recent projects?
I'm kind of dabbling with other people. Like I've been working at Echoes, mixing sound there and setting them up to record. I sold them my old studio equipment and couple of amps that I splurged on and shouldn't have bought in the first place. So now Echoes has a
spoken like a
2-amp back line, drum kit, the house kit there, and we got the mics. I picked out the cymbals for his kit, and so I'm helping the owner there out. There used to be a.
And you want to give a shout out or any more you want to say about Echoes?
Yeah, it's a great place. It used to be Bert's, and it used to be the Dingo Bar. So if this guy cleaned it up, it's clean. It's beautiful place to just hang out, and he brews his own beer, so it's not a bar. It's a music venue with a tap room, and he makes really small batches, really good recipes that he gets from whoever he licenses them or whatever, and so we're trying to get everything that played there recorded on multi-track. So I do a lot of mixing. Offline.
And would you say, are you a musician first, an engineer first, or recording? Not that you have to choose one to be first, but.
Well, I think first is just a person, that got dropped out of a fallopian tube in the middle of this. How did I get here? Place, and then music is like there's comforter, you cozy, and then so all the other stuff. Engineering and producing came about because just being a drummer, I always had to depend on other people to jam with. I couldn't just sit down and write a song and play and sing. So I took up guitar over time, and and it's like, well, I need a 4-track. So we dabbled in recording in high school in the 80s, and
one of those like Tascam or Fostex.
I got a Tascam 4-track in '85. We started out in '79, and my wife's brother was in the band. That's how I met my wife and Jill, and so we just. They didn't like doing covers. They just did originals. So I didn't really even grow up. I played to the radio to learn how to play, and then anyway, get into recording, and then so 91 or 2, I got a bank loan and bought 8-track reel-to-reel and started recording bands, and it was a way for me to pay for the equipment that I wanted to use. And so by that time, I'm playing bass and guitar on my homemade recordings. And then try to play them live or whatever.
And one of the cool things about music and the music community, such as Blue Dragon, Echoes, all these things, is just the way it builds community and you connect with people. And I know our next guest, Cameron, who we both know from different places. It's another kind of cool thing. Oh, you know this guy? You know this guy? And, and so maybe, because I know in just a few minutes you guys are going to actually play, he's going to accompany you on another song. Maybe you can tell a little bit about, how you connected with Cameron and about the song that you're going to play.
Well, you could say it's a chance meeting or whatever, or is it fate? You drive yourself crazy.
Or divine.
Divine, whatever. But when the quality of these relationships, like, you, Ramon, even Cameron, we're, 20 years old, 40 years apart. And we connected instantly on just talking about stuff, the truthful stuff that goes on in the world, and all the effort they do to obfuscate the obvious, the stuff they put in your face. So we connected on that.
Oh, beautiful. And what's the what's the song that you're going to be?
I think we're going to do this song called "On Its Own."
On Its Own. Okay. All right. Well, Mike, it's a joy speaking to you and knowing you over all these years, and I thank you for welcoming me to New Mexico back in 2002 at the Blue Dragon, and I look forward to collaborating over the years and continuing to.
Totally.
Yes. All right, my friend, and I look forward to hearing this song.
Awesome.
All right.
Could you love someone the way you need love? Could you love someone the way you need? If you love someone the way you need love, you may find some love that lives in the love you give. But you're not in charge of what happens. If it happens, it will happen on its own. No control, getting plowed wide open, soul to soul, toe to toe, do-si-do with seed to sow. And if it grows, you're not in charge of what happens. If it happens, it'll happen on its own, on its own, a seed to sow is on its own. Could you give someone what you need given? Could you give to someone what you need? When you give to someone what you need given, you may find a gift that lives lives in the gift you give. But you're not in charge of what happens. If it happens, it will happen on its own. You've no control. You're getting plowed wide open, soul to soul, toe to toe, do-si-do with the seed to sow. And if it grows, well, you're not in charge of what happens. If it happens, it'll happen on its own. Yeah, on its own. A seed to sow is on its own. Not in charge of what happens. If it happens, it will happen on its own. You've no control when you're getting plowed wide open, soul to soul, toe to toe, do-si-do with the seed to sow. And if it grows, well, you're not in charge of what happens. If it happens, it'll happen on its own. Yeah, on its own. A seed to sow is on its own.
All right, we are here with my buddy Cameron Beatty. Cameron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well, and thanks for accompanying our friend Mike on his song.
Oh yeah, well thank you for inviting me.
Yes.
And having me here to do
yes.
that.
So we go back a ways.
We go back a ways.
Yes, yes. So my first question is, because back when I knew you, back when you were in, I would say 5th grade.
5th grade.
I don't know at that time music was much a part of your life at all, and now it's maybe the main part.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you maybe just tell us how did that journey evolve?
Well, certainly starting in 5th grade, kind of with you. So before 5th grade, I had never touched an instrument. And then we went into 5th grade and you had a piano in the classroom. So during like break times, everyone would kind of mess with it.
Yeah.
But then I remember there's like one kid who actually was interested and you showed him something. And the moment I heard someone else play a song, I was like, I want to do that.
Wow.
So then I went up and I was like, show me how to do that. So then you showed me, and then every like snack time, I think, I was playing the piano when like everyone could have free time. And then from there, I went home and like got a keyboard just because I thought it was so fun, and went on YouTube, started learning like, I think Fur-Elise, like I maybe learned like 30 seconds of it or something, and then picked it up really fast. And from there, my parents were like, wow, you're picking it up pretty fast. So they looked into music lessons and groups and all that, and they found a place in town called School of Rock Albuquerque.
Yes.
And so this is all still while I'm in 5th grade, so this is maybe like a few months in. And so then probably towards the end of that 5th grade year in like May, I started in the School of Rock. And then from there, the School of Rock's really what like got me full in deep with music, because I started playing piano there. But at the School of Rock, they first of all teach more like rock music focused stuff. So it was a lot different than a classical band where you have your sheet music and your homework.
Yeah.
And then also they were very open about like, you want to try guitar? Well, here you go, give it a try. You want to try drums? So as the years went on there, I just kept having a good time playing and trying more instruments out. And it just kind of stuck with me.
And so now which instruments do y'all play? So you play
keyboard? Now, yeah, if I had to list them all now, I would play piano, guitar, bass guitar, drums, alto saxophone, and I could technically say I play banjo, but that's just because I can play guitar. So you can kind of fake your way on banjo.
You can probably play ukulele a bit, a little bit of
exactly, a little bit of mandolin, a little bit of ukulele. Yeah. And then I sing a little bit, but I certainly wouldn't consider that like my strong suit. I'm still learning. Like I wouldn't go try to tell someone how good of a singer I am.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to hearing one of your songs. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the song you're going to sing.
Yeah, so the song I'm going to sing is an unreleased song. It's just kind of one I wrote this year. I've been focusing more on trying to get better at singing. So I thought the best exercise would just be to sit down and actually start writing songs that I had to sing. Because that also is a lot more comfortable for me than trying to hear a song and emulate someone else's voice, where it's a great exercise, but sometimes you really get down on yourself because you're like, I don't sound just like this singer who's
I don't
been
sound
singing
like Aretha Franklin at all.
Exactly. And then you're gonna let that get to you. So I wrote that song. It can have a bunch of meanings.
Written many songs over the years?
I have written a lot of songs, certainly, both like in collaboration with my bands and then also by myself. But let's see, how many albums have I written and produced? Like 4 or 5 albums.
And are they available? Like if we go to some of the
They're
links
all
that
available.
we'll post?
They're on a few various spots. So I've had 2 bands in the past that I've had albums with. So the first one is The Conundrums. And so we had an album out called Unconventional Weapons. And then the band after that called Stankenstein. And we had 2 albums.
I remember I would follow you guys.
Yeah, so the first album from Stankenstein is just self-titled, and the second one is called Highway 51.
Okay. All right. Well, let's give a listen to the song you're going to play for us, and then I'd like to hear more about projects you're working. Maybe we can after we'll check out some video that you've done.
Yeah, sounds
so
great.
Let's give it a listen. Let's hear your song.
Let's do it.
All right.
Oh, here I am. I found myself in this storm again. The road is rainy, but I don't know who is safe to befriend. I've been traveling long now, don't know if I'll make it to the end. Won't someone help me find my way back home and get me out of this great unknown? Oh, won't you help me? Won't you help me? Won't you help me? Won't you help me get out of this storm? I'm getting lost and I want to go home. Oh, here I am, suffering from the natural fear of all I love in life were to just disappear. Oh, it's driving me crazy, and it's making me lazy. Won't someone help me find my way back home and get me out of this great unknown? Won't you help me? Won't you help me? Won't you help me? Won't you help me get out of this storm? I'm getting lost and I want to go home.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your heart and soul with that song.
You're welcome.
One of the things that I wonder is you play in a band and then playing solo. How does it feel? What's the difference as far as what it's like playing a song with just you and a guitar, as opposed to being with the whole band? Do you have a preference, or what's the difference for you?
Oh, I certainly love in the end playing with a band. I think playing by myself or writing songs on my own is more just because I'm crazy, but I have all these ideas that I'm always trying to get out. Yes. And instead of being a control freak
and here's
like you can see in my videos, so when I'm recording something like this, I'd much rather just write my own parts than be a control freak and tell someone like, no, wait, do this and that and like that. But I like both. I don't like to always be in full control. I think doing the music on your own kind of satisfies a need when you're like, I just want this song to be what I had in my head. Yeah. And then other times, though, it's amazing when you play with a band and you're like, I think I have a little idea, and someone's like, what if we do this? And they play the best thing ever, and you're like, do that again. That was amazing.
Yeah. And you do you do the video editing as well?
I do all the video editing, recording, producing, filming. Like in this video here, my friend's filming me, obviously, but this is just my car, and I said, well, I'm gonna get in the back seat with the saxophone, and you film me while our other friend drives the car. Wow. And the joke right being, as you saw in the beginning, he gets in the car after being abandoned on a dirt road, and we're like these creepy people who pick him up.
Yes.
And take him on this wild adventure.
Oh, very cool, very cool. So right now, what projects are you working on, and who are you playing with? Where are you playing?
So recently I just started playing with a group called Sister Baby in town. So it was originally just these two girls who are sisters named Lily and Faye. And then, let's see, just last Saturday, we played their first show where they've assembled a full band, and now they're continuing to have me play with them. So there should be more shows upcoming with that group. And then personally, still writing stuff on my own, but I have another band that I'm getting going. We're writing songs. We don't have an official name yet. Okay. I guess the most behind the scenes info I can give, not that it's too secretive, just instead of trying to like put out a name and then wait and put out stuff, we have a lot of music we're getting ready, and we're just gonna make a big like, here we are, here's our music, here's our name. Okay. And try to get
And what's the arrangement or the...
So far, it's just drums, me on guitar, and a bass player, but we're definitely hoping to add maybe one more guitarist and have a singer sometimes.
Yes. So let me ask you, I know when I first started in music, I know my parents, they were not so excited about it, because of course every parent wants their kid to not have to struggle and have this good life, all out of love. How have your parents and family, are they, it sounds like, getting you into school of rock early on and that sort of...
Yeah, no, they've definitely always been supportive. There hasn't really been a point where they're like not supportive of it or like have an issue with it, because obviously that always came with like, well, try do good in school, or get a job. Now that I'm an adult, just actually work and make money. But however you do that, there's not a set way that they need me to do that. Yeah. And I think I appreciate that they acknowledge that I'm not like just wasting my time. That they're very easily like, oh, well, you have a skill that you're developing, and that's how you usually become successful at something, is progressing with the skill and becoming good at it. So. I know nothing bad has come from it, but no, they've been really supportive.
That's great.
Like I have a studio in my backyard. I'm still live with my parents. Yeah. I'm only freshly 19. Yes. But so my parents helped me build that and put that together and get equipment in there. So that's what enables me to record all that music and make videos and all that.
Okay, very cool. And do you have kind of even in a fantasy, however crazy of an idea, where would you like to see your music or your art or these projects? Do you have an idea of where you would like to take you, whether it's make a full movie, travel world tours, or
I think just in the end, be able to play music, like ideally, like for a nice sized crowd. Yeah. But in no means am I fixated on like, I need to sell out the biggest stadium in the world, but I love to be able to play music, have people enjoy the music I make, and like that is basically me giving back the way that other people make music I like. I'm like, I want to do the same thing. Yeah. But obviously, like, you know, commercial success is very interesting, but that's not what I'm fixated on. But as long as I can live my life and make music and enjoy that, and not more my goal, not having a point where I feel like I can't make music or there's something keeping me from doing that. But say I don't have 10 million subscribers and followers on YouTube, I could care less. Right.
And so, out of curiosity, when you're not doing music, do you have, what are some of your other hobbies, or are you like, no, it's all music?
Oh man, no, I am crazy. People say undiagnosed ADHD. Well, I think technically I was, but another question. So I love old cars. So I'm restoring a 1968 Mustang. Wow. And my family's always collecting old cars. So we are the crazy people with like 8 cars in our driveway and 4 of them without engines.
And how did you learn to do that?
It's been a family thing. My grandfather worked on cars, and then my dad. So my dad's dad, then my dad, and then me. My grandpa was a drag racer since he was in high school in like the 50s. So it's been a family thing. And then besides that, I do rock climbing a lot. Okay. Just indoors. If you know anything about rock climbing, you'll make fun of me and say how I don't go outside yet, but it is a hobby I consistently do. Yes. And I'm looking to go outdoors. I started just this January.
Yes. I can see, because I've tried the indoor rock climbing, and I am in admiration of the people who do the crazy outdoor stuff, but it seems like quite scary. But I imagine, you know, when you do it, you know what you're doing and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. And so back to your car, I imagine being a traveling musician. Have you been on have any of your bands toured or anything like that?
We have not. I haven't gone anywhere out of state yet to play any music.
If you do, that will be a great asset, knowing how to work on a car.
Yes, definitely.
Because I remember one of my very early tours, I had some car problems, and boy, I wish I knew what to do. Fortunately, I met someone who has some skills. But and so, what is your approach? Everyone has different approaches to writing songs. I'm curious, for this song that you played today, are you, do you start with sort of the groove? Do you start with the lyrics?
It's definitely always different, but in the case of the song that I played, if I remember correctly, like, I'll admit, I always kind of have an artist or a kind of song I'm going off of. So I was sitting down, I'm like, I want to do some like Bill Withers kind of soul music type stuff. So first thing I was like, I'll go to a minor 7 chord just because that's usually a good soul sounding thing. So I started playing that, and then from there, I kind of did a basic like, okay, well, I'm on the 1, I'm gonna go to the 4, back to the 1. That sounds nice. And then for this song, I thought about it kind of with a music theory aspect, and then to the lyrics, I just kind of, usually when I write lyrics, I'll start mumbling along until just something works right. Like that's generally, am I not like away from the guitar and like, here's a lyric, but I'm playing and I'll be singing and all of a sudden a line will come out and I'm like, that one. And once I have one, I can write off of that usually. Yeah. It's like to set the theme of the song though, just kind of jam it until whatever comes off. But sometimes, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, are you like a pencil and paper? Do you like to write on a computer so you can edit? What do you
Definitely a pencil and paper. I mean, I'm also scribbling out stuff and drawing arrows and like a bunch of crazy stuff. But I like pencil and paper. That's always my favorite.
I'm with you. Well, one last thing I would like to ask is, I imagine there are people out there who think, I play a little bit, but I, haven't written a song. I'd like to. What words of wisdom or encouragement or advice would you give to someone who wants to go down this path, like knowing what you know now that you didn't know when you first started? What advice?
You just have to do it, because you are what you do. And I'm not a painter, but for some reason it makes more sense when I compare it to that. But if you were saying, how do you start painting? Well, paint your first picture, and then figure out what you don't like about it, and then paint a second one and try to fix that. And then repeat that process for like 10 years. Well, maybe not 10, but just continually repeat that process, and you will do it. And
that's brilliant. I've never heard as logical and sort of obvious it seems. I've never heard anyone say it like that. Makes sense. So just write a song. I don't know how to. Well, just do it. Just see what happens. And then
I think the caveat that your first song, and it's not to be, it might not be very good at all.
Yeah.
But you can't make a second better song if you haven't made a bad first one.
Wow. How old are you?
19.
Wow. Well, we met by me being your teacher, but you're teaching me something today. I appreciate it. So Cameron, thank you so much for just taking the time and chatting with us, and I look forward to hearing more what you do, and I really look forward to collaborating with you on some projects.
I look forward to it.
Really awesome. So just wish you all the best luck, success, and just continued joy and inspiration, and all the best to your family, and stay tuned for more for this guy.
Awesome.
All right,
that was great. Yeah.
All right, pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for tuning in today for another episode of Everybody's Got Something. We have some true treasures in this town, and it's an honor to get to sit down and talk. And I wish all of you out there all the best. If there's something you want to do it. Just keep doing it, and let it fill your heart, let it fill your soul, and we'll see you next time.